Hey, I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield. And with you today is
John Bishop.
and this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
Hey, what's up, listener? We're in the basement. Okay, we're not in the basement. We're in a basement. Where currently the show is on the road, crashing with my brother-in-law at his place, John Bishop, on the show today. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? It's so happy to be part of this.
Thanks, man.
I'm excited. Let's do it.
Thank you for letting me borrow your basement so we can sit down and have a convo.
Anytime. Yeah.
I appreciate it. Listener, John's great. He's got a great wife and kids. They're going to listen to it, so I'm going to try to limit the f***s and the shits and all the other swear. And here's the thing: I'm going to bleep those.
Yeah.
So who knows what I
that'll be
just
fun.
said?
Yeah.
Who knows what just happened?
So I can swear too, and then it'll just be bleeped.
We just bleep.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Don't
Awesome.
get too potty mouth.
All
Just
right.
because you got a bit of freedom. Don't make me go into
exactly,
editing
yeah.
overload
Yeah.
here. Okay.
You got it.
All right, fair enough. So, all right. Well, listener, before we jump in today, talking fantasy football, we're just going to hit some quick plugs. You know where to find me at Neil to Know on Instagram. That's where my link tree is. I'll take you to everything else. I'll get you to the podcast and all other things me. And you can also find John on Instagram. JW Bishop is where you can find him at if you want to check out what he's doing.
Thanks for the plug. Appreciate that.
Cool, no problem, man. Well, look, dude, so before we get into like the show proper, one of the things I like to do is when I bring somebody on the first time on the show, kind of like to get to know them a little bit. One of the things that I'm amazed by with you is, dude, you're a builder. Like you legit put together your own back deck. You assembled your own, like when you got your house, you redid your entire entertainment center.
Mm-hmm.
How and when did you like first get into building stuff and modifying stuff?
Yeah, I think all that kind of started. This is our second home. We've been here for about 7 years. The first home we bought was in like 2007-ish, my wife Angie and I. So that was a fixer-upper, right? We bought it from an older couple who had lived there for like 30, 35 years. So there's a lot of work to be done. We didn't completely gut the whole thing, but we ripped out carpets, repainted everything. We did a lot to make it our own. So we've always been on a limited budget, so you have to be resourceful. You have to, kind of think of some things on your own. So, like with a lot of things, with the magic of the internet and YouTube, like just kind of research how to do a lot of different things ourselves and kind of figure it out on our own. So, yeah, with our first house, we did a lot of projects there. Minor building projects, some interior stuff here and there. But yeah, once we got to this house, I mean, we really kind of amped it up a little bit and kind of took it to the next level. So yeah, like you said, we enclosed like our whole entertainment, like built-in bookshelf situation in the living room. So again, like tutorial online, like copied it exactly, like verbatim, like went out and bought all the materials.
I think YouTube is like just such a huge thing right now for that. Like, because it used to be, maybe you were in a family where like somebody knew how to do drywall or had some basic carpentry, maybe some plumbing, but they would have like some of the skills, but not all the skills. Or you get somebody who they thought they know what they were doing, and then it would just completely screw the entire project up. I mean, that's something you discover when you get a house, is when you start to go to like modify a room, you're like, oh, this person had no clue like how to do electrical work.
Yeah, I think our approach, at least my approach, is like, let me see if I can do this on my own. Let me figure out if this is something
Give it a shot.
I feel comfortable handling.
Is there anything you've ever like looked at and been like, nope, calling in a pro?
Yeah, I mean, I've done minor electrical stuff. So when we've had to like cut holes in exterior walls and like start running wires and getting an understanding of how an electrical panel is set up, like we brought in some pros for that. There may be some plumbing things here and there, but I've surprisingly done some plumbing work too, which is always really terrifying because who knows what can happen with water.
Right, exactly.
The deck thing, I mean, you mentioned that, like that was something that Angie and I have been surprised about continually to this day that we actually did that. And it wasn't until we started getting estimates for a company to come in and do it, which was upwards of like 25, 30 grand, 40 grand for it. It's like, okay, we're not going to spend that much money on it. We're not going to,
we're not buying a new car for our backyard.
exactly. Yeah. And then I started we started pricing out the materials, and it's like, let's just like try and do this ourselves. And yeah, again, like we're still amazed by it, but, I think that key is just like doing the right research, being resourceful. Like, there's a level of confidence there to figure out like, yeah, let's just see if we can do this. If we get in a jam, like we'll figure something out.
How'd you level the yard for the deck? Like, did you have to get like a tamper to like level out the ground first,
Yeah.
or did you adjust everything like with the base, the foundation?
Yeah, we kind of adjusted. So there's all this math, there's all these equations and like building rules, and depending on where you live, like there's all this stuff that has to be figured out.
Yeah.
And it all has to be improved by your local township board. Like this guy, Frank, came out, and I think Frank is pretty subjective. He just comes out, and it's like one of these old like local government employees that just like has been doing this for years. But anyway, yeah, so we had to sort all that out and make sure everything was like in spec. But there's basically 4 2-foot deep concrete footers that all kind of are at different levels, but however you need to attach and mount the deck all has to be level. So we kind of had to figure that out, and that was a little challenging. I feel like we kind of did the best we could. It might be off by a little bit, but you would never know. You know what I mean? It's not like perfectly level, but it's pretty close. So yeah.
As a man who's building things, do you have a preferred power tool? Are you a DeWalt guy? Are you a Milwaukee guy? What do you?
That's a great question. So for the longest time, I had Craftsman, which is middle to low tier type of power tool products, and I had that like for a while. But like with this deck project and some other things, I made some new investments, because I think I watched a YouTube video by Van Neistat, who's Casey Neistat's brother. He's got an awesome channel.
Yeah.
Van Neistat, and he talked about the importance of investing in good power tools, quality power tools. So I bought a bunch of Milwaukee stuff.
Okay.
Milwaukee's my go-to now. And so that's my preferred power tool choice.
I think it's one of those things you get in, especially building stuff. There's stuff that you prefer to work with, and it just becomes the thing where it's like, all right, this is what I use.
Yeah.
This is what I know it's going to do.
Yeah.
And all hobbies and collections kind of get to that at some point. You start zeroing out on, okay, this is what I like, and this is what works for me.
For sure, you know where to make the right investments to help help out your end product or whatever you're working on, or whatever you're into building and completing. You're like, hey, this helped me get there. This made sense to kind of have this and use it. Yep.
Do you got any projects that are on the table right now, or anything you're wanting to do?
Yeah. So our next project, we want to redo both of our bathrooms upstairs. We did like a quick remodel when we first moved in. We want to redo the flooring in there. I think we're gonna like swap out the toilets again too. But get some better flooring in there. The stuff we have in now it's basically like a peel and stick situation. But yeah, so that'll be the next project, I think.
You going 1-piece or 2-piece on the toilet?
I think I don't know.
The reason I asked is I had no clue about any of this. We recently redid one of our bathrooms, and I was like, I didn't realize that you could just get a 1-piece or a 2-piece toilet,
right? And
then having to like do the research on which one you would get and why.
Yeah, I think we've purchased 2-piece in the past. Probably do that again, just because I know how to work with that. But yeah, that's the next thing. Yeah, nothing else major besides that. I mean, we've done a lot over the past couple years. So we just did my son's closet too. So kind of ripped out what was in there before and kind of put a custom solution in there as well. So
I was gonna say, is there like any stuff that like the kids need built or anything you've had to like Pinewood Derby cars or anything like that?
No, you had to build none of something? That. I mean, I don't know many kids doing Pinewood Derby. Maybe just because my son's not in like Boy Scouts or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, him and I sometimes make some stuff here and there. But yeah, nothing scheduled for now. Yep,
all right.
Yep.
Well, look, man, let's make a jump from the real world. Let's get into the world of fantasy. Let's talk fantasy football.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So let me ask you this. Like, growing up, did you play football? Like, did you play it in school or anything? Or did you, like, did you grow up watching the NFL or college? How did you first get introduced to the game?
So I did not. I remember watching. So I, grew up in Delaware. So Philadelphia is kind of like the local market there. So I remember watching like Randall Cunningham in the 90s on the Eagles. Eagles are my favorite team. But I don't remember being that into it. I remember being really into the Phillies, always went to Phillies games. I've only actually ever been to 2 Eagles games. So I would say like growing up, not really into football a whole lot. Even in college, like I kind of remember it a little bit. I would say it probably wasn't really until after college that I really got into football and following it like religiously. So, for the last 20 years or so. But yeah, never really grew up. I never played football either. Like I played soccer and baseball, but never really played it. But now, I mean, it's crazy. Like I still love baseball too, but I love watching football. Like it consumes a lot of time.
Football's pretty great. I grew up playing it. I grew up watching it. I'm from Ohio originally, so like we had the whole Ohio State versus the world rivalry. I ended up being a rebellious kid because I didn't like a lot of people in my hometown, so I ended up becoming a Michigan fan just to piss people off. And my best friend Andy was a Michigan fan, so I was like, all right, well, we'll go in on this.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah. So that's how that started. But eventually I ended up when I went to Ohio State for my master's, I ended up trading in and I'm now a Buckeyes fan.
Absolutely. Yep.
But yeah, man, grew up on that. Grew up on the Browns. Like that was a big thing when I was a kid. Even starting out in like I want to say like kindergarten, first grade in the mid '80s. That was during that run where they were battling out for the AFC Championship. Yep. The drive happened with Denver. I remember being a kid and watching that.
Really, yeah.
That was brutal. But yeah, I mean, just always surrounded by it and growing up on it. And then I think the Madden games also were a big part of what got me because back in the day, it was a little harder to watch stuff outside your market.
You're right.
I think that's another reason why the NFL's expanded so much is because like even it's not as accessible as like NFL Game Pass. Like I'm not to that point where I'm willing to pay for that. But in terms of like just the sheer amount of games that are now accessible, be it the Thursday night game, Sunday you got the 1 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, and the 8 o'clock, and you got Monday Night Football. And now what they're doing where it's like, hey, we're just gonna have 2 games on Monday night, or hey, we'll do a 9 a.m. game from Great Britain. It's like, all right, like you can just get more football content than ever before.
Yeah, I mean, some of those Sundays are crazy where you just wake up and you're literally watching football for 15 hours.
Yeah.
And that's fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like it's just nonstop. The TV stays on that entire time. You could do whatever else, but yeah, the fact that you're right. The awareness, the exposure, it's all there. So it's so easy and so nice to consume now. Yep.
Yeah, they really have made it a more of a game that more people can follow now. And also just the expansion of the league and stuff, like looking back on it now. Like I saw something the other day where I totally forgot that like one of the divisions was like the Browns, the Bengals, the Steelers, and the Houston Oilers. I'm like, how the hell is this? Like, why was this ever together? But then it was like there was, I want to say, like maybe like less than 16 teams per conference. So then, just in my lifetime, seeing like the Oilers become the Titans and, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers, all these additions to the league.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense that the Dallas Cowboys are in the NFC East, but they are.
They are.
And for a while before the current alignment or realignment or whatever, the Arizona Cardinals were also in the NFC East when there were 5 teams.
Yeah.
Right in the divisions. Again, that made no sense at all. I hate having the Cowboys in our division, but it also makes for some really good.
I mean, it is a good rivalry for the Eagles and the Cowboys. It has become one of the premier things that, at least as a fan of neither team, I think of as being a premier rivalry in the league.
Yeah, I mean, they're both very successful teams. Now, the Cowboys always end up choking or doing something terrible, and that's on brand for them. They haven't accomplished anything since 1996 or whatever. But yeah, they're both really good teams. So that's why, you look at some of these other rivalries, and lately, like the teams haven't been good at the same time. But Cowboys and Eagles, yeah, they've both been really good. So that's what makes it good.
Yeah, staying pretty consistent.
Yep.
What do you think about all the movement of like the Raiders going to Vegas, and then Los Angeles ending up with 2 teams again with both the Chargers and the Rams.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of interesting because you have like these transient fan bases, right? Or what happens is the visiting team ends up like with a significant fan base there. I mean, I remember like there was a significant game, and this is back like 2017, so that season that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. There was this huge takeover when they played the Chargers. I think when they were still in San Diego. I mean, it was like 80%. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think Vegas is going to be one of those towns where they're always it just becomes part of the entertainment culture there.
100%.
Right? So like there's just like you're going to go there for the entertainment aspect of it. I guess they're getting are they getting a basketball team or something like that?
I don't know if they're getting
they're getting
baseball.
the A's.
Yeah, they're getting the A's.
They're getting the A's. So like you go there, you're on vacation, you're gambling, you're there for the National TV Manufacturers Association annual trade show or whatever. So like you're going to catch a game like you would go to the casino or go to some show. So yeah, it's just going to be part of like the entertainment there, which and that kind of stinks because they may not ever have a really strong fan base. Now I've watched a couple of those Raider games recently. Like there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of excitement. Antonio Pierce is the interim coach. Like it seems like he's doing an awesome job. And then beating the Chiefs this week was really cool. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess time will tell.
I think the Vegas thing will be good. Because man, it's one of those things where starting out in Oakland, and there was a time when like San Francisco and Oakland could both support teams, but that's kind of changed over times and the demographics and who's moving where and whatnot. And then the Raiders in Los Angeles just never felt right. And then they kicked them back to Oakland and they finally moved them out to Vegas. And I think that Vegas has finally figured out like just a way to get people, because for a while Vegas was, hey, you come here to gamble, and it's like, okay, well, there's only so much you can do with that. Now once it was like the 90s, they're like, well, bring the kids, and it's like, this doesn't work, man. Like don't, because they had that whole thing where it was like they kind of tried to Disneyfy it, where it was like they had like shows for kids and like the pirate ship outside and all this stuff, and it's like, man, nobody's really trying to be on like a 48-hour bender and walk downstairs to get more Coke and have to pass by a family.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
This is not what.
It's not the best atmosphere.
This is not the best balance. So I think that like Vegas has kind of figured it out now, where they're like, okay, let's get into this entertainment thing where we have an NHL team, which they're
really successful.
Yeah,
really
the Knights.
good.
The Knights are huge.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And then bringing in the Raiders, where it's like, I guess they're like the most valuable team in the NFL right now, just because of the sheer amount of money they make. And last time I was in Vegas, I was talking to one of my Uber drivers. I'm like, how's it going? He's like, man, it doesn't feel like a home game a lot because so many people come in for games. He's like, the Bears came in, and he was like, it was like 70% Bears fans, 30% Raiders fans. He's like, but we make so much money off it.
Yeah.
Because everybody's just coming in and dropping coin on the game and sports book betting and gambling and food and booze and everything else.
I think you'd rather have that than empty stadiums, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody's there, they're having a good time, like it's good for their economy, like you're getting people there. The baseball thing's really interesting to me because like now, because baseball is so ridiculously long. And I think for a couple years that there's like a transition period for the A's, but you're still going to Vegas in like July and August, where it's like you don't even want to be outside.
You got to get that in a dome.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be in a dome probably, but like you're still like who's actively like proactively want to go to Vegas in like July. You know what I mean? That's just kind of weird.
Yeah,
especially for the volume of games too, like 80 games there. Like,
a lot of home
so
games.
Crazy.
A lot of home games.
Yeah. The other thing about that, it's a good question. I think about the Jets and the Giants too. Like, I feel like they have an identity crisis. Like, I feel like they shouldn't be in the same stadium, both of which are in New Jersey.
Yeah,
right. And like that stadium is like awful. It's been awful since it opened. People are getting injuries on that turf. The turf is bad. Aaron Rodgers, right? The Jets should be somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
And like they haven't been successful in so long. It's like they kind of need a new identity, and better opportunity for them. I don't know, but like that whole thing is another interesting dynamic.
I don't understand the need and want for both Los Angeles and New York to have two teams.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make sense to me, and especially with like L.A., where like it's just not a football town. Like if the Rams are doing okay, like when they went and won the Super Bowl, then people come out for it. But if not, there's so much other stuff to do in Los Angeles. People are not going to come and see like a 5-9 Rams team. It's just not happening. Now you do that with like the Minnesota Vikings or the Green Bay Packers in the Midwest. People are still going to show up.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and plus you in LA, you're competing against so much too. Like soccer's huge there. They got 2 MLS teams. Now all of a sudden you have the Dodgers who are unloading $400 billion into like 2 players. There's just a lot there.
Yeah, as a Reds fan, that crushes my soul to watch.
Yeah, it's team's ridiculous. Yep.
Well, look, let's talk about this. Like, when did you start playing fantasy?
Yeah, so I'm in 2 leagues right now.
Okay.
Both of which have been around for a long time. So one I'm in with my buddies from college. Mm-hmm. The other one I'm in are with some buddies from high school.
Okay.
And the college one is the one that I like care about, right? I've done like three different teams in the past. That was kind of too much for me. So now I'm good. I'm good with 2. So the one with my college buddies, it's called the Lazy Sunday League. I think the name came out of that SNL sketch, the Lazy Sunday sketch, which came out around the same time that this league started, which was like 2004. So next season will be our 20th year.
Wow. Playing
together with essentially all the same members. So almost 20 years of playing fantasy football.
Nice.
A lot of the same traditions are there. You know, we try and get in person for a draft each year, but we've had a good run. Almost 20 years of playing fantasy football.
I've lost track of how long. It's not been that long, but it's been a while now. And usually I'm good for about a league a year. I've done 2 leagues before. I had like a work league and a personal league, but for the most part, I try to stay just with one, just because that's a lot to balance and manage.
It is, yeah.
And, but it does, for me, it makes the football season more fun because now I have a reason to watch the rest of the league outside of the Browns.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it makes every game interesting because either I got a player in or somebody I'm playing against as a player in practically every game. So there's implications on everything that I'm watching.
Yeah, you just care so much more about the results and what happens in those other games.
Yeah.
Yep, which is fun.
And it helps you to kind of follow the storyline of not just your team, but the entire league as a whole. Mm-hmm. Because now you have an understanding of who's doing what on what teams, who's hot, who's not, who's injured, who's playing, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And it just makes it more of a organic, living, breathing league to me, mm-hmm. where I'm invested more across the board.
Yep.
So you kind of hit upon, you said you try to get together for a draft. So do you guys travel for the draft? Do you have like a set location every year? Like where do you all get together at?
Yeah, there's not really a set location every year. I think the last couple of years we've been at my buddy Brett's house, who lives about 20 minutes away down the road. He's got a nice place. Obviously it happens in August, late August, so we're kind of outside. Not everybody's local. I'd say half of our league is kind of local here to this area, Central PA. But there's a couple guys in DC area. There's one guy in Florida. So they usually remote in.
Okay, so they're Zooming.
Yeah, so we're Zooming. We kind of have that dialogue going, and then we've been on Yahoo. We've been using Yahoo the whole time. It's probably the only reason why Yahoo still exists is because of their fantasy football product. I don't know. I just don't know what else they're doing. But
Google needs to step up their fantasy football.
Yeah, exactly.
Market,
right.
Yahoo out of business.
Yeah. So yeah, we've been using Yahoo. So like, we draft through their own kind of system there. I think the first couple years, and this was a lot of fun. We did it like the analog way, where like you buy the kit and you put the stickers of the players up on the thing. So the
big board.
Yeah, the big board. That was a lot of fun. I had some fun like pictures of that when we were doing that the first few years, but we've kind of done it through their system just because people aren't always local or in person. So yeah, yep.
I enjoy the draft. It's something I look forward to every year. At this point, I've hosted the draft the past few years, and if everybody's cool with it, I'm going to keep doing that because I like having control of it. I got a pretty good setup. Everything is done via just plug an HDMI cable in from a laptop into my flat screen TV. So we got the big board right there. We can see everything.
Yeah,
in real
that's fun.
time.
You can kind of track what's happening, who's off the board, who's available. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Who's got what?
Yeah.
Being able to keep it that way. And I do like the energy of the room of drafting together because when somebody makes a bad pick, everybody razzes them.
You just start talking trash. You're like, yeah, it was terrible. Yeah. That guy's injured. That guy's gonna tear his ACL in week 1.
Yeah,
have fun with that.
Yeah, there's also that of the bitterness of players past, where I've seen many a time people are like, "Oh, you got Christian McCaffrey? Yeah, good luck."
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah,
Yeah. And so that's always fun, and that thrill of I can only really equate it to like Christmas morning as a kid, where you're like, "Yes, this is the team." That's going to go all the way.
I know.
I've perfectly orchestrated this. It doesn't happen.
People think that every year.
You're
right. Yeah, it doesn't happen. I mean, we have some guys in our league that will invest money into like these like draft kits and like do mock drafts, and like that dude hasn't won in like 10 years. Like it's not getting him anywhere. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, the people who spend the least amount of effort preparing and investing time in it are the ones that luckily end up winning. And like, yeah, like their strategy with fantasy football, but man, so much of it is just like luck, fluky things happening.
We got a dude in my league, and his real name's Matt, but his nickname is the Magazine because one year he brought the magazine for his drafting. So and every year has the magazine, so he is now the magazine.
Yeah, he's the magazine. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So and it was one of those things where like the league was already established, and I got brought in when somebody else had left. So then like I knew my friend Justin who was in the league, but then I had to meet all the other people in the league and find out who was who. And like I said, for a while, magazine was just magazine because that's all I knew him as. Like I didn't know this man had a real name, so so that's part of the fun of the tradition of fantasy is like you get a nickname, it sticks.
It sticks. Yep.
Yeah. It's not moving.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. We have. It's funny. We have a whole naming thing with our league where. We usually try to get together every year, guys' weekend, like things like that. If there's like a funny moment or something that happens during that weekend or just some funny inside joke, random thing, those little like lines or phrases go into like a shared notes app that we can reference later. That's how we kind of come up with our team names every year. And a lot of them are like really random, don't make any sense. Some of them are kind of crude. Mine this year is, I think it's hilarious. It's Sun Sand Salad. And the backstory with that is my mother-in-law, when we go to the beach, we vacation with my wife's family every year. She brings a salad out on the beach, okay, which isn't necessarily like, sometimes you pack a sandwich or like a bag of chips or like something to snack out on the beach when you're out there.
But this is open with the air and the sand.
She's packing a salad, so she's sitting there eating the salad. When it's lunchtime, like it's just kind of an odd thing to eat. Right during, when you're out on the beach, 80 degrees, sun and sand. So anyway, like I always send this picture of her eating the salad to my buddies. So that's how it came. That's how that name came to be, Sun Sand Salad. So that's my team name this year.
Most of ours are kind of like dynasty names. So like my buddy's team, the Madness, he's always the Madness. It's a Macho Man Randy Savage themed fantasy football team. My other buddy's Big Government. He's got a warning Big Government sign. Mine, I'm the Myrtle Beach Mermen to represent Kenny Powers. Shout out Eastbound and Down season 3.
Yep.
So everybody's got like a different. Usually they do stay, but you do have the ability to change the name if you want to.
Yeah, my other league with my high school buddies, I've had the same. I think most of those teams have been the same, like Dynasty. It's been like the same team name for a while there, and mine in that one is Kamikaze Bingo, which is the name of a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode from like season 1 or 2 or something like that, where this. Yeah, it's like this Japanese World War II veteran is in a nursing home and they're playing bingo. I don't know. It's a funny episode. You can check it out. But that's how that name came to be.
There's always stuff like that. There's always somebody's always got a team named after something from like Anchorman.
Yeah, just something. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, that usually works.
Yeah. So somebody's always got like some kind of like tragedy joke. Like there's that's part of the fun of fantasy football is the names and what you run into.
Yeah, there's a real art to it for sure.
Yeah. Naming your team. What about draft status? Like, are you guys set up like is it kind of like the real NFL where the better you do, the lower your draft is next year, or are you guys just like flipping quarters? Like, how are you picking draft status?
Yeah, so we have the ranking depends on how the season ends. So like there's a toilet bowl and then like the championship round. So the teams that make the playoffs, right? So however you end up in those standings, like you're at the bottom, right? So the league winner picks last.
Right.
And then the toilet bowl to give some incentive to keep going for the people that don't make the playoffs. They play for the first pick.
And this is the same setup we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is great because then you just don't quit, if you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, or like unload your team or something where like you just start doing a fire sale and completely just flood the league with players.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because this is an 8-team league, which is small.
That is small.
It's small.
Yeah,
so
we're 12.
Yeah, you're not really draft order doesn't really have a huge impact. Mm-hmm. And we do snake draft. So
we're snaking.
Yeah.
Listener, if you're not in fantasy football, what snake draft means is like, so let's say we're doing what like John does here, where whoever gets the first pick, then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then the 8th person gets to pick again before it snakes back down the line 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One spot, then gets to pick twice in a row, back up the line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So trying to keep things fair, trying to keep things cool.
Yeah, I think it works out pretty well.
I like it. Yeah,
I like it.
I think it's a good way to do it. I think at the end of the day, everybody's usually pretty happy about it and not getting screwed over too bad by it. I mean, because last year I won our toilet bowl, so I was first draft this year, and it does make you kind of think about how you're going to position stuff. Because the one problem is it is nice to get back-to-back picks, but man, you're on a lonely island for a long time.
You are. You're just hanging out, sitting there with nothing happening.
Before that snake gets back to you.
Yep. Now this is also a keeper league, so we can keep 3. Yeah, which adds an interesting dynamic to it. So we can keep 3 players.
We're very similar. I think we can keep 3 or 4. We do. Our keeper is you can't keep anybody you drafted in like I think it's the first 3 rounds. Mm-hmm. And then you also, if you do keep somebody, you only get them for 3 years.
Got it. Yeah.
So I'm on my 3rd year of CD Lamb right now because I got CD Lamb when he was a rookie. And wow, what a great investment that was. Mm-hmm. So as I started this year, I had CD Lamb and Justin Jefferson as my starting receivers.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, well, and then my world fell apart week 3 and everything just kind of kept going. And then Justin Jefferson got hurt, and then T. Higgins got hurt, and I'm just like falling apart.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's talk about that while we're here. I mean, I think that is part of it. So you really can't just like set it and forget it. Like you have to be making moves during the season. Are you a guy who likes to trade? Are you a guy that likes to fish off the waiver wire? How do you work?
Yeah, I am anti-trade. There's some guys in the league that are always sending trades. It's never worked for me. I don't like it. I like my guys. I like being able to go out on the waiver wire, especially if I have like waiver priority there and see who's available. Again, like in this small league with only eight guys, you can kind of keep with the ones that you have. So I think I've only traded maybe like once or twice. Mm-hmm. And like some of the trades work out. Like if you're having a bad season, like you can trade for draft picks the following year.
Oh, nice.
Like there's a lot of fun stuff like that to mix in, but yeah. I'm anti-trade, and maybe that's a reflection of my personality and not liking change a whole lot. But yeah, never been a fan of the trades. Yep. I think they're overrated.
I'm not against trades if you give me something when you first show up. So for example, in my league, this one guy, Justin, I'm throwing under the bus here. So like he'll just like and be like, hey, what would you take for Justin Jefferson? It's like, I wasn't even planning on trade. Like, what are you offering? And it's like,
give me some options.
And it's like, well, never mind. And it's like, well, no. You don't come knock on my door and be like, hey, do you want to trade this guy who I'd not been planning on trading? And then, and like, now you want me to do the second half of this, being like, well, if I was going to, I don't get the time. Like, if you want to do a trade, just like tell me, just like, hey, I see this guy, I got this guy, you want to flop him? Okay, maybe yes, maybe no. But if I now have to do work that I wasn't planning on doing to like research stuff and figure out, you know, if this is, I just don't want to deal with it, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep, you're right.
And sometimes you just got to protect your stuff. Like somebody else came to me, my buddy Nathan did at one point, and was like asking for my quarterbacks, and I was like, nah, man. He's like, what do you need from? I'm like, honestly, dude, I'm like, I need quarterbacks right now because everybody's dying. Like I got
a lot of injuries this year with the quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's like I can't flip this to you right now. Because if I do, I don't. And he wrote me back. He's like, I get it. He's like, but that's the boat I'm in right now. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm in the exact same spot. I had two of my quarterbacks good. He's like, I'm just trying to get anybody out there. It's gonna get me points. And I'm like, I get it, man. But I got to eat first on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm with you. I try. You know, if trade, not my favorite thing to do, but I will do. But you know, give me at least have the option presented for me. Getting on the waiver wire. I mean, that's just the reality of fantasy. Like dudes get hurt, you got to get on waivers. Do you guys have a thing where like, are you set up to where like you have to put down like money and stuff for players in your waiver wire? Like in our league, it's not real money. It's like everybody starts up with a $200 pot. But then if like three people go for it at once, whoever throws in the most gets them. But then that can also screw you later because if you go paper chasing somebody and you eat up $100 of your $200 budget, now you're down to $100 for the rest of the season trying to get other people off waivers.
Yeah, I know about that strategy. I know in our league it's been discussed as something that we would adopt in the future because what happens is like there's some guys in the league who will just go crazy. And we initially didn't even have waiver priorities set. It was just a free-for-all at any time. But I think like 10 years ago, we probably had the waiver priority. But there's still issues with, there's no max, there's no limit with even playing the waiver wire, picking up and dropping people. So I do actually prefer the pot, like the money, so that way you kind of know what you can handle or what you should be doing. When is a certain player the most important to you? Like if you've had a key injury or if somebody could be available to you that like had an awesome week, right? And like their projections are really good for the rest of the season. Like you kind of want that player. Again, I know it's something we've talked about in the past. I would like to institute that in our league for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that helps out a little bit just to make everything a little bit more balanced and fair and equitable. And you just don't have, because if not, you run into that weird thing where it's like you got dudes that are like at 2 a.m. just grabbing stuff off waiver wires.
There are always those dudes.
Yeah.
Like there's a dude in our league that's doing that. I mean, he's waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on, what is it, Wednesday, I guess, right? Yeah. And picking up people to not burn a waiver priority. It's like, oh man, come on.
Yeah. Yep. Hey man, all's fair in love and war.
It is.
When it comes to fantasy,
right.
But yeah, there's some. Right. That's also interesting. There's some people that are very serious about fantasy. And there's people that are very lax about fantasy. It's just kind of like, oh, it's fun. And there's other people. It's like, no, this is a major part of my life.
Yep.
And yeah, I will say though, my mood can be very directly impacted by how my fantasy team is doing week to week.
For sure. I mean, yeah, like so I was in a semifinal game this week. I won our league last year, which was like super exciting. And yeah, made the playoffs this year. Actually had a first round bye because I was one of the top seeds over the course of the season. In the semifinal game, and the guy I was playing had Amari Cooper and David Njoku.
Oof.
And Joe Flacco.
Shout out this guy.
Yeah, elite Joe Flacco.
Elite Joe Flacco
was just chucking that ball down the field the whole game, spreading it around, and yeah, like those two guys ended my season right there. So, yeah, that hurt. That had an impact on my day. Yep, for sure.
I think that just speaks to the weirdness of the season. We talked a little bit earlier about all the injuries to quarterbacks. It's insane.
No one would have predicted that.
I know.
To unfold.
No.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, like we're like tomorrow, Thursday night, we're going into is it the Jets' fourth starting quarterback versus Joe Flacco for the Browns?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I did not predict this
No.
in August. I never thought I was going to have Joe Flacco on my team, but here we are.
He's elite. Come on.
Yeah. Elite Joe Flacco.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think that is kind of the wildness of the season is you just never know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to get hurt, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. I do think it is a bit of a conundrum that the NFL finds itself in right now with they want to protect their quarterbacks because you want those big names on the field for the big ratings, but at the same time it does also impact the way the game is played on defense where watching this season and watching the number of no calls Myles Garrett has got on holding, it's insane. And it's just like, are you guys and I think that is a problem having with the NFL this season is when stuff gets called and who it gets called for, I still feel like the Chiefs and Mahomes get a ton of calls they shouldn't get. But then there's other times where I'm literally watching a game where I'm watching Myles Garrett. Listener, go back and watch the Browns versus the Bears. Where he's getting face masked, his shoulder pad is he's being held by the back of the jersey, everything else, and just there's nobody making a call here, and it's do we have rules or not? What are we doing?
Yeah, the refs have really taken a big hit this season. I mean, the penalty, there's been so many penalties. There's been a lot of people saying NFL's unwatchable now. There are penalties on every play for sure. Mm-hmm. There's holding on every play.
Yes. That
happens. Some of it is pretty egregious, and it stinks because what has ended up happening, especially this season, I feel is that these refs are making significant game-changing calls in critical moments.
Yeah.
And it's man, or they're doing makeup calls. It's happening every game, and it's just really frustrating. And I don't think it's good for the NFL. I also don't know what the solution is.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're supposed to do. You're right, because you got to balance the protecting of these players and the quarterbacks and all the safety stuff, while also at the same time all these teams are getting stronger, faster, more violent. Dude, if you're an edge rusher and you're going 100 miles an hour at a quarterback, how can you pull up at the right moment and not just
level
the dude?
Yeah, and get a PI.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the stuff is I just don't know what the solution is, but it's becoming kind of tough to watch.
I think you're hitting on a lot of stuff that is a very weird Venn diagram that we exist in right now because they are trying to make the league not as violent because, you go back and watch, if you watch NFL highlights from the 70s and 80s, good Lord, it's just dudes getting decimated, clotheslined and taken down by the back of the helmet and horse collars.
Yeah, it's football.
Yeah, it was just that's football, and then it's okay, but now you add in the weight training of the day and the nutrition of the day, genetics, super athletes that we have now. You take a dude like Max Crosby and transport him to 1975, he might kill a guy.
Yeah.
Especially under that.
That dude's a beast.
Especially under that rule set.
Yeah. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's flying around. He's making things happen. But yeah, there is that balance of okay, how do we protect quarterbacks, not get them injured, but at the same time let the game happen? It is a violent game. Injuries are going to happen. And now adding on top of it, we're finally sports betting is no longer the dirty secret of the league. It's everywhere. And every commercial is, hey, bet on sports and get on your phone now and get a parlay going. And it's man, it's hard for me to trust that if I can't trust the officiating to not sway the line, to affect the game. This, and I wonder at what point if there will be any blowback from Vegas and sports books onto this, where it's hey man, we're trying to set lines and we can't set lines because we don't know if you guys are actually going to call this correctly.
Yeah, you touched on an interesting topic there. Sports betting thing is out of control. It's just kind of taken over. I just picked up on this and noticed it recently. Matthew Berry, fantasy football analyst, OG dude, right? He left ESPN, goes to NBC, and now half of what he talks about is betting. It's the betting side of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just fantasy advice, recommendations, analysis. They've kind of evolved him into betting, and like each of these networks also have like a betting person too. So like, what's going to happen to fantasy with like the rise of betting with like the current product of what fantasy football is right now? It's going to be interesting to see how that kind of changes over time.
I at least had one guy in my league who just up and quit fantasy just to do bets.
Yeah,
because he was like he's like it's cool that I'm always in the playoffs because I understand football enough that like I'm good enough with the fantasy team. But he's like, why not make money off it and just start betting? And it's like, all right, man, hey, if it works for you. But I do think there is a dark side of that too, because it is. I mean, at the end of the day, betting is a vice, and there's some people that just can't handle it, and you can lose a lot of money. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money, but it's one of the vices I don't trust because it's one of those things where it's like Las Vegas casinos, sportsbook. They're not trying to make the game fair. They're not trying to set it up for them to lose and you to win. They're trying to set up so that they win and take your money and clean you out.
Exactly, and that won't change. That'll always be the case.
Yeah, that'll always be the case.
Yep.
So, but I will say, but on the flip of that, I will say when it comes to like when I look at college rankings, when I think about like who should be in the college playoffs and who shouldn't, I always look to Vegas because there's not a bias there. There's not a well, this team should go even though they're like 12-1, and yeah, this team's undefeated, but these guys have a bigger fan base that travels and. No, what's Vegas saying?
Yeah,
exactly. If we put these two teams on a neutral site, who wins? And Vegas goes, well, these guys are the dog and these guys are the favorite. Okay, cool.
Yep, got it.
Let's go with that.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't know. I can't look at my crystal ball and say exactly what's going to happen with it, but it's definitely it's definitely a fly in the ointment. It's a little different than anything we've seen before.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just football too, right? Like it's really permeating all sports. I mean, excuse me. I know guys like that are betting on baseball, and it's like how like specific and intricate you can get with the baseball bets and what happens per inning, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, the parlay stuff you can do where it's like, all right, this guy is going to be the first person to get a hit. This guy's going to get a home run somewhere in the game, and then this guy is going to throw like 5 strikeouts, and you parlay that all together, and it's got to happen on. It's just like, dude, like this is
it's a lot to figure out.
It's a lot to check the boxes on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, not for me. All right. Did you ever have a draft where like this is the best guy I've ever got? Was there anybody that like you picked where it was like this guy made or broke your season?
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple times. Oh, I got one. So, who was the tight end on the Saints? Oh man, what's that guy's name?
Taysom Hill?
No, this is like think like 10, 15 years ago. I'll have to look him up.
Was it Shockey? Was he playing there for him at one point?
He was at some point, but this is a dude who, Marcus Colston.
Okay,
I think that's his name. Yeah, they classified him as a wide receiver / tight end.
Okay,
and so all season long, I think there was a lot of buzz about him, but it wasn't until like the season kind of started. So I drafted him. You could put him in the tight end spot, but he put up wide receiver numbers consistently like the entire season, and he carried me. I think I won the championship that year.
Nice.
But I have Christian McCaffrey. I've had him for a few years. Somehow he was available in a draft and he wasn't kept. I think like maybe early on, and we don't have a limit as far as how many years you can keep people.
Oh wow.
But he's been pretty transformational.
Yeah.
For me too. I also had like Frank Gore and Steven Jackson back in the day.
Nice.
Too. I had those dudes for a number of years, and they always carried me. You know, there's these different strategies, right? Like some people do 0 RB strategy. I've always liked having at least 1 or 2 solid running backs. Like I've always had that strategy. My wide receivers have always been kind of lower tier, mid to lower tier. Rarely have I had like a standout wide receiver, but I feel like it served me pretty well. Like over the years, like I'm all about stud running backs. Yeah.
Well, I think it makes sense too, especially when you get down in those like that red zone situation where now the back line of the end zone actually becomes like another defender.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, you're used to having the extra defender on each sideline, but now you put a cap on the back of the end zone, so you can only run certain routes. Like you can't run a straight route and just go right up the field and do a straight 8. Like you got ins, you got outs, you got fades, but and that's kind of where it kind of winds down. You can't do anything big elaborate like a big wheel route and expect to make that happen.
Exactly. The plays are different. And also, like, there's only so many 3-down backs anymore either.
Yeah.
All these teams are doing the running back by committee thing. So it's like when you find that, like, elite, like, top tier 3-down back, like, those are the guys you want because they could just put up points for you consistently on a week-to-week basis. And, the running back by committee thing, like you never know. Like it's a total shot in the dark. Yeah, they might put up 30 points and then next week you're getting 5 points. It's like I can't handle that. I don't want to deal with that.
I could not imagine being a running back in the NFL. Like it
now,
is just
yeah.
I mean, and we talk about the protection that the quarterbacks get, and now you flip that on its head, and like running backs have like, I think the average lifespan for NFL running back is like 2 seasons.
It's crazy.
It's such a low amount of time just because of you're basically in a car wreck on every play. Like you're getting hit by other super athletes the way like linebackers 250. Defensive ends 270. Maybe you tangle with a nose tackle or a DT. You're talking 300.
Yeah,
like
those dudes are 5'8".
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
like,
and they're all everybody's fast. Everybody's fast. Everybody's basically a car. Everybody is like basically like a nice small car.
Yeah,
it hits you.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean now it's like like if those guys are lucky if they get like a new contract or a contract extension because that's it for them.
Right.
Basically, like coming out of the rookie contract or their signing bonus.
There's always a new guy coming out of college.
Yeah, there's always a new guy. So
less
like,
wear and tear.
Yep. Like 27, 28. I mean, it's crazy. Those guys are done. They're done.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
Well, that's like I'm looking at, Nick Chubb just turned 28 the other day, and I love Chubb, and but after getting his leg broke this season, you question it's like, what's this man going to look like next season? Like, will he come back and still be like a 5-yard per carry back?
Yeah.
Or does his life completely change because of this injury? And you're absolutely right about like running back by committee. That's a huge thing right now where you got 2-3 backs that are like taking the workload for everybody. Those days of just having one guy that your running back is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope Chubb comes back. Like he's awesome. I hear he's an awesome dude. He's great on the field. Like that was a tough loss for the Browns this season, I think. But yeah, like depending on what he looks like when he comes back, he doesn't have much time, and whatever his contract is. But yeah, like you hope he comes back and still do Chubb things.
Well, you're talking about Chubb being a good guy. Is there anybody that you won't draft for your team? Is there ever a player where you're like, the personality of this guy, I can't do it, or he plays for this team, I don't want to like have them on my team because I don't want to have to cheer for him?
Yeah, so being in Central PA here, we have a lot of diversity with fan bases. So there's Ravens fans around here because Baltimore is like an hour and a half. A lot of Steeler fans because they all jumped on the bandwagon back in the 70s when they were winning championships. Yep. Pittsburgh's 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away. There's Philly fans around here. There's Cowboys fans because stupid Cowboys fans are everywhere. But I avoid drafting. I hate the Steelers. I cannot stand the Steelers. I hate their fans. They're annoying. We're, kind of surrounded by them here. I've worked with them in the past. I can't stand them.
It's such an incredibly entitled fan base.
Yeah, they're so entitled. They hang on to this six championship thing. Like that's the only thing they could do. They've literally accomplished nothing since I think like 2016 or 2017. I think it's been that long since they won a playoff game. Mike Tomlin's standard is just being average, okay? And that's the only thing he's got. But I try and avoid drafting any Steelers, and like that is usually the case. I don't want any Steelers on my team.
I try to avoid them too. I don't want to cheer for them. I don't want somebody to have a good. I think in the past, like I got like Deontay Johnson, and then I was just like, man, I do not like this at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't like having to like watch this game and being like, all right, man, get in the ball. Like
yeah.
I don't want anything good to happen for the Steelers.
Yep. I think I picked up Pat Freiermuth at some point this season just because I was desperate for a tight end, and everybody was kind of taking And I think he's had like one good week maybe. I think I plugged him in a couple times, but like again, that was only out of pure desperation that I needed somebody, and he happened to be there. But yeah, Steelers. Nope, I'm not drafting him. I don't want him on my team.
Is there anybody that I know you're an Eagles guy first and foremost, but is there anybody else in the NFL that you dig where you would consider like buying their jersey? It's not an Eagles guy, just from like having them in fantasy, or anybody else that you like?
Probably not. I know it's funny. Like, there's one guy in our league who buys jerseys for his fantasy guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he's a Giants fan, diehard Giants fan. But he's had like a Jamar Chase jersey. He's had who else has he had recently? I forget, but he's like done that over the years. But then like we'll trade these guys too. Without even really thinking about it. But yeah, it's funny. No, I haven't really thought about getting another player. I mean, I love having Christian McCaffrey, but he's on the 49ers. Like I don't really like the 49ers right now, just being an Eagles fan, but yeah, probably not. But yeah, that's an interesting thought because people really do get excited about that.
Yeah,
for sure. Their guys, they had their guys.
Everybody's got their guys, or you see people that like were on your team and now they're gone and now they're someplace else. Like that's forever and the rest of the time he's in the NFL. I'm always gonna hope good things happen for Baker Mayfield.
Right.
It's like it didn't work out in Cleveland, but man, I'm glad to see that dude in Tampa Bay tearing it up right now.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go out and buy a Baker jersey, but I'm happy for him.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, there's a few dudes out there. My thing is, I got enough guys on my team, and I mean, jerseys are expensive. Each one's like over $100.
Yep.
So like, if I got to buy something right now, I'm either getting a Nick Chubb, a David Njoku, or a JOK jersey.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah. Shout out to the god of defense this season. That dude is killing it. I love him so much.
He's fun to watch.
And they finally did with him what he was meant to do. Like when he came out from Notre Dame, it was like, hey man, this guy is not your traditional linebacker. You can kind of put him wherever, but like he's going to get sacks, he's going to get tackles for losses. Just let this guy be a heat-seeking missile.
Yep.
And with both Walker and Talkie, being able to like take that more traditional middle linebacker spot, that lets JOK just do his thing.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. He's got a good coach there too, Jim Schwartz.
Yeah.
Shout out former Eagles Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm so thankful for Jim Schwartz being in the building and actually doing something good with this defense and seeing what he's been able to concoct this season.
That guy's a beast.
All right. Well, we're starting to wind down here, so I got a few more things with you. What about how's game day feel? How's it feel going into the week of? Do you look forward? Do you get nervous? Like, how do you look at your week to week in fantasy?
Yeah. I do get nervous because, it's absolutely important to win throughout the week. You want to be in the playoffs. I spend time certainly looking at the matchups and making some tweaks there. I think what becomes really challenging, and I have some resources and websites that I look at to try and compare. There's always, it seems to be always like one or two or three, four guys that you don't know who to pick, right?
Yeah.
So like, should I go with this guy against this team? And this is what his performance has been like lately. And he's playing home or he's playing away, or, they're in a dome or like whatever. You kind of look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I always second guess my decisions when it comes to who to sit and who to start. So, again, because I think in both leagues I'm in, I got a decent bench, right? So that's always tough. And like, man, that's one thing you hate to see is some guy blowing up on your bench.
Oh yeah,
right? Like that's the worst. So I always get kind of nervous about that. And the same thing goes for like when you feel super confident in somebody. Like I had Trevor Lawrence this season, like who was kind of tough. Like he had some really good games, and then he just stunk in some other ones. Like he was kind of consistent there for a while. But there's been times where like you really need somebody to come through, and you felt so sure about like making the right choice there, and then they just, then they just shit the bed, and like they were just terrible.
Yeah.
And that sucks, man. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, you're just sitting there and you're looking at your bench and you're like, all right, man, I'm in a dogfight right now. But if I had this dude in who is, sitting on 20 points going in at the end of the first half, oh, this would be a much better day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fantasy definitely affects mood.
Yeah, and then you start hearing about it from your buddies too, the other people in the league, and there's some trash talking going there.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh man.
Yeah. Yep. Your wife's upset because you're upset. And it's like, you don't understand.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yep.
You don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And we touched on this a little bit earlier, but just the injury bug, man. Like, that's just such a hard thing to try to predict or prepare. Like, you just can't. It's the variable that there's nothing you can do with it. You can have the healthiest guy in the world. They come into a game and boom, they leave with a concussion or worse. And it's just, oh man, this just shoots everything. This completely offsets what my strategy and what I had going.
Yeah. You just can't. You can't plan for that. You can't predict it, and it just ruins everything.
Yeah,
it
does.
Yep.
What's the winner get in your league? Like, what do you get if you win the championship?
Yeah, so we've had the same trophy for a while, which is it's just a little just a little football that like somebody bought at a store that's on a little like punting, like kicking thing. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that has a name for it. But
Tee. You got a tee?
Yeah, it's on a tee. So this league has been around for 20 years, almost 20 years, and the years and all our team names and who that person is written on it. So it gets passed around to the winner.
Oh, that's cool.
Each year, usually gets mailed. And over the last few years, probably like last 5-6 years or so, the person that ships it to the winner, they package it in this really intricate like packing situation. So like, it's like taped up, it's wrapped, so it takes the person that gets it like 45 minutes to open it up.
This thing.
Yeah. So that's kind of a fun thing. So we've had this thing for a while, but this year we're moving on to a legit trophy that's gonna kind of be like Stanley Cup style, where like we'll make like a new
nameplate every year for it.
New nameplate every year.
You can get some white gloves to handle it.
I don't know about the white gloves. We'll see about that. That might be something fun to add.
That always cracks up with the Stanley Cup is like they treat this thing so like pristine, and like there's a guy in like a tux and white gloves handling this thing, and it must be kept clean and everything. And then it's like you give it to these dudes that haven't shaven for like over a month, that have been trying to kill each other on ice, and then they just go ahead and they just like take it to pool parties where they're getting
the pool party thing. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like they like once they have that, they just take it everywhere with them.
Yeah.
And just do whatever they want with it.
Drink booze out of it. People,
exactly.
it gets knocked off of tables. There's dents in it. I heard there was like one guy who woke up one morning and like couldn't find the cup, walked out, found it at the bottom of his pool. Like, this thing has been through everything, but then when it's in the possession of the NHL, they treat it like it's this rare artifact that cannot be blemished in any way.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. But dude, is there a better championship celebration than that though in like all of sports?
The Stanley Cup? Nope.
Yeah.
No, it's hands down the best trophy.
Like I'm not even into hockey that much, but like watching that championship ceremony and them lifting that cup like over their heads.
Oh,
like that's just so cool to watch.
You should be able to drink out of every trophy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a sign of a good trophy.
Yeah.
Can I drink out of it?
Should be a prerequisite for sure.
Yeah. All trophies must be drinkable.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to turn like the NFL championship into like a shots luge.
Yeah.
NFL, get on that.
For sure. Yep.
Well, look, man, before we get out of here, because I know we got to do lunch here soon, was there anything we didn't cover you wanted to talk about with fantasy?
I don't think so, man.
I feel like we had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we did. Fantasy's so fun. I love it. Like we talked about, I mean, it just gets you so into the season, the league, the players. It's just a really fun activity.
Do you think you ever quit it, or is this a for life thing?
I think it's a for life thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
I at this point I cannot see myself doing football without this. Like, it's just such a fun thing. Like I said, it makes me invested in every game. I want to see what's happening. I want to follow the league. I want to follow teams that are outside of my market. Like normally, like why would I give a what the Arizona Cardinals are doing?
Right.
Oh, now I care.
Yeah.
There's a reason to watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun hobby. It is something something that really is exciting, and you're okay spending time doing it just because it's so much fun. You enjoy it. Yeah.
Is this something that any of your kids have expressed an interest in getting into, or have you like tried to get them to get into it?
Yeah, I mean they know I play it, so I'll ask them questions like we talked about, like the sit start the sit start thing. So I'll ask them every once in a while, like, hey, who should I go with? And they have no idea what I'm talking about at all, but they will say one or the other. So sometimes I go with that. So
nice, flipping a coin.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's fun to get them involved with that.
That's nice. I don't have that luxury. Sometimes I literally just have to flip a coin.
Yeah.
Like, all right, see where this is going.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, look, man. Before we get out, is there anything else you want to plug before we jump out of here?
I got nothing else to plug, man. I'll just be happy plugging your show, knowing that I'm a guest on it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Listener, you know to find me at Neil to No One is where you can find me at on social media, and all things online is right there in my link tree. Also, thanks for listening to the podcast. You get a friend that's into fantasy football, do me a favor, share the episode with them. The algorithm sucks. Word of mouth is key and is great. So if you can just send them a direct link, it's always appreciated. And, you know, you can get the show via Libsyn or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much anywhere you get podcasts, you can get the show. And while you're there, check out the back catalog. We're now over 150 episodes. Each one focuses on a different subject, and everything is evergreen. So you can jump in and jump out wherever. You don't have to listen to every episode in the catalog. It's just the stuff that interests you. John, man, thank you so much for doing the show, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for talking fantasy with me.
Dude, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
And listener, peace.